Hi there, and thank you for watching. My name is Margarita, and I'm the founder of the Marriage Immigration Method. Inside our method, we focus on only one thing, and that is marriage adjustment of status. We guide independent and self-sufficient couples through the entire marriage immigration process, empowering them to secure their conditional green card from inside the United States, removal of conditions, and naturalization independently without the need to hire a lawyer. So, if you're ready to take control of your own case, this method is for you. And this is an incredible story of Loretto and Chris. There was a long wait and even an interview in between, but ultimately they got their green cards, so stick around to hear how it all went. Hi there! Would you mind introducing yourself and letting us know where you're originally from?
Okay, so my name is Loreto Diaz, and I'm originally from Chile, and I've been here in the United States, since October 2021. And before that, it was more like a back and forth and a long distance relationship.
And tell me a little bit about Chris. I know he's unable to join us because he's not feeling well today, but tell me, where is he from? I know you guys are living in Hawaii now, but where is he originally from?
He's from Idaho. Yeah, he's been here on island for like 10 years, I think. Yeah, 10 years.
Wow, I did not know, or maybe I forgot that he was from Idaho. Where exactly in Idaho?
Originally from Blackfoot, Idaho. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why he was excited when I told him like we have to trust her. Like she went to school in Idaho and Boise was a Boise.
Yeah, it was Boise.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so exciting. Have you ever been there or not yet?
not yet, not yet.
It's so beautiful. And where in Hawaii are you guys?
We live in Honolulu.
Cool, cool.
Mhm.
Okay, so you mentioned that you've been in the country since 2021, and before then it was back and forth. Did you enter with your tourist visa or was it something else?
Oh yeah, I entered with my tourist visa. So we had applied before to a fiance visa, and we waited, and nothing happened. So I came here to visit, and then we kept waiting. I was supposed to stay like only 6 months, and or until we heard from the USCIS or had like a open case, and nothing happened.
So when did you file your fiance visa? Do you remember approximately?
Yes, so we got engaged in 2020, April 2020. And then I went back to Chile in December same year. And he sent the paperwork in, I think it was April 2021. So we waited until October while I was in Chile and nothing happened, no open case, no notification, no nothing. So after that, like I came here to visit and then I stayed.
So did he use an attorney to handle that or did he file it himself?
No, he did it by himself. Yeah.
Have you guys
We
heard anything about that?
no nothing. Like we even asked when we had our interview and he said, well, like I can't see much in the system besides like the case. But I'm so sorry guys, like 2020, 21, it was kind of like crazy for all the cases and everything because of the like pandemic and that situation, but nothing like because we only did the first step, like we pay like the first fee that it was like almost $500, I think.
Yeah.
And where he applies to get like the permission to bring like a foreign or something. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Like we didn't hear about like USCIS, no letter, no notification, like I said. So yeah. It got
Wow.
probably lost in the mail or somewhere or stolen. We don't know.
That's so crazy. So, okay, and you're from Chile. Chris is from Idaho, but he lives in Hawaii. How did you guys connect?
We met through Instagram
Wow.
and I was planning a trip actually with two friends and Hawaii. And then like my friends changed our plans. One of them went to Mexico, the other one went to Malta, and I had my ticket. So I was like, I'm doing it anyway. So I was trying to find like more information about the cost of living and everything. And I remember that I follow some hashtags like ocean or sea turtles and stuff like that. And I just like a picture that he posted of a sea turtle.
No way.
Yeah. And then we started talking, and I think we didn't talk for a few days, and then we kept talking like back, and that was it. We talked for a few months before we met, so yeah.
Wow. How many years have you been together now?
We have been together for 7 years so far.
Wow, this is so
Yeah.
beautiful. What a beautiful culmination of the relationship that just
Yeah.
manifested this green card. Okay, so tell me, obviously at some point you decided not to leave. You're like, okay, so we're just getting married. It's time for us to stay together and stop the long distance thing. What was your initial plan regarding the green card? How did you think you were going to handle it?
Like all the situation or like
Like, did you think you guys were going to hire a lawyer? Did you speak to maybe a lawyer? How, like, because obviously it's a bit more complicated than the
yeah.
fiance visa. There's way more paperwork. So you tell me about that.
Okay. So at first we kind of like look and we were like, okay, this is a lot of information. I don't know how to do this. Like we keep like looking and reading different stuff, and it was like a total mess. Like it was overwhelming. So we were like, okay, a friend of mine, she said like, so, no, so I have a friend, he's a lawyer and he can help you, blah, blah, blah. And it took me a while to get in contact with him because like I first sent him an email. I got an answer saying that he was busy, and it was like kind of hard to get to talk to him. And then they sent us like the fees, and we were like, oh my God, it was like I think $6,500 or $6,000, something like that. So we were like, wow, that's a lot of money plus the fees that we have to pay. So yeah, it was a lot. And then I decided just to follow my intuition. I was like, there's something off here, like that I do not like. Like I would send an email asking question, and then like I wouldn't like I would have to wait like 3 weeks to have a short answer, or like I don't know. So I was like, no, this is not what I want. Like if for some reason every time that they would answer back, I would end up crying. I was like, this is not okay. Like this process should not be like this. Like I felt like every answer was like negative, like no, because I asked like, is it? I've heard that there's like a travel permit, blah blah blah, and they were like, yeah, but you should not take it because it's gonna cost you more money.
Which was not
We
the
found
truth.
out that the travel permit it was free,
Yeah.
and besides that, like there are more chances for them to deny it, or it's going to take longer the case. So we're like, no, like this is not what I want. Like, and we were thinking about it. So, and then I don't know, I just got like, I think I found your account through TikTok. It was just like scrolling, and I was like, oh, she seems nice. And she seems like she knows. And I joined a live video, and people were asking questions, and everything was like so clear, and I really resonate with that. I was like, yeah, I feel like that's the path that I want to follow. So, and then I looked up more information and Instagram and the website and everything. And then I talked to Chris, and he was like, no, no, what if it's a scam? Like, I don't want to do it. And I was like, what if it's not? Like, and so I'm originally from Chile. So I always like, it's hard for me to trust different stuff because I know about like scams. And she was like, no, but here it's not like the way it is there. Like, if the person is a lawyer, or like they're gonna have a license and everything. I was like, okay, let's see if there's a license or something. And then I saw like the testimonies, or people like talking about like how happy they were working with you and how easy the program was. So then I think I sent you an inbox and told you about like kind of like my story and everything. And still, I think after like a month, maybe 2 months, like I got like we got to talk to him. Like I was like, you told me about the free call and to kind of like explain the process and how this thing would work. And then once I talked to him, he was like, okay, like it's a free call, like we have nothing to lose. And we were just talking to you in those like first 10 minutes. And he was like, thumbs up, like, yes, yes. I was like, okay.
Wow, I did not know that. This is such a beautiful story that
Yeah,
you're sharing with me right now. Okay, so basically, I get it. Chris was skeptical because it's like, okay, you saw somebody on the internet. We don't know
yeah,
these people. They're obviously in a different state. And he, I would imagine, wanted to work with somebody who was closer to you guys. Well, that's why you were reaching out to those attorneys.
yeah,
But attorneys were charging $6,500 for just the first process, like without anything that comes after, just the green card itself. Is that right?
yeah. And that attorney wasn't even here in Hawaii.
Ah,
No,
so they were
the main,
also outside the state.
I think Oregon, yeah.
Ah, okay, okay. So it was basically the exact same thing. Okay, and then did you guys look us up online or where did the trust come to like actually get on the call?
Well, I usually just follow my heart. I I know when something is right. I know when something is wrong. Of course, I'm not always right, but I was like, yes, I believe them. I trust them. Like I want to work with them. And after, right after we talked to you, like we were 100% clear. Like this is what we want. So it was pretty much it.
Wow. So then on the call, you also felt comfortable and you were like,
Yeah.
okay, that is what we're looking for.
Yeah, we felt pretty comfortable because um the program seems like very easy when you explain to us and that everything what included too. Like not only like, okay, I will send you the program and now it's your thing. No, like having a group chat, like Facebook and everything, like it was what we needed, like having more people going through the same situation, getting to ask you, like it was like really quick. Like every time we had a question, we would ask you and we would have an answer like maybe the next day or the next hours. So that was nice too.
Wow. Yeah. It was the next day because you guys are in Hawaii. Like our
Yeah,
time difference was crazy, but it still worked out. It still
exactly.
was manageable. Yeah. Okay. So if you can go back, do you remember like before you enrolled, before you started working with us, what was your biggest challenge? Like, were you completely lost in the process and it's like, I just need help putting it together, or what was it?
Well, yeah, it was almost everything, like the amount of forms, like I-130, like my information, like his information, like everything. It was like way too much for us to handle without the program.
Wow, wow,
Mhm.
how interesting. I'm so glad that we're having this discussion because I remember how we connected, and I do remember Chris specifically. He was like, okay, what I'm hearing right now is way better than what we heard from those attorneys. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like I'm absolutely, absolutely down. So that worked out. I also wanted to ask you, at that time, had you considered that you would also need to handle the removal of conditions and naturalization, or were you only thinking about the first green card?
Oh, I was only thinking about the green card. Like I didn't even think about like more. I was like, okay, this is what I want right now. And my main reason was, of course, to be able to leave the country because I was like so scared. I was like, what if something happens at home and I'm not there? Like it was so overwhelming. Like I was so stressed. I was so close to just leave. I was like, you know what? I don't care. Like my family, I want to be with my family, but he's my family too. So it was so hard. So yeah, yeah, it was everything. I think it was overwhelming, like trying to organize all the information, like all the paperwork, the evidence, like everything, because yeah, we need evidence, but what's the evidence? Like I don't know, it was everything was overwhelming. So it was so nice to have a program like to follow step by step. And I'm very organized with everything. So this was like perfect for me, like step one, okay, and then explaining and just like it was like having you next to us, reading everything and helping us to like complete the forms.
Wow, that's amazing. Do you remember approximately how much time was wasted going back and forth with an attorney and like trying to find an alternative option? Were you kind of stuck in that for a few months, or how did that go?
Yes, so we got married in October, and that's kind of when we sent the first email right after we got married. And it was February, and we were still talking to him. And I want to say March. So October, November, December, January, February, like 5, 6 months wasted. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And kind of like collecting paperwork too, because he was like, okay, so now you can get us your birth certificate. Okay, I sent them to him. And then, okay, can you send me now a picture of your passport? Okay. Oh, and then he was like, no, hold on. Like, I want you to talk to my assistant first. And it was like a conversation between him, the assistant, also the medical questions too about like all the requirements we needed. So it was like it was a mess. It was a mess. I was like, I'm going through like one form and he's asking from one I asking one type of information, then the other one, like yeah, I couldn't just follow that. So it was around like 6 months that we wasted.
Wow, because sounds like they were really not properly organized. That was
Yeah.
because you guys got married in October and we started work, you enrolled in May. So there
May,
was
yeah.
a lot of time in between that basically was all going on. That's
Yeah, like six,
crazy.
7 months. Yeah.
Did it help you to know that we were including the entire immigration process in this, that you don't need to worry about then handling your removal of conditions and naturalization later on, that you can do it with us through the program?
Oh yeah, like even bringing like a family member and everything, we were like, wow, it's not only like, okay, you're done with your green card, bye. It was a really nice to meet you. Like, no, it was more than that. We were like, wow, this program is like really complete. We're going to do it like everything, even like traveling, because it's not like you get your green card and you finish. Like it's also there's another part where you can see, okay, now you got your green card. What to do if you want to travel? Like what do you need? Yeah, so yeah, it was very complete.
Okay, let's talk about the program because obviously people are often afraid that, well, only a lawyer can handle it. So thus it has to be too complicated for me to understand it. Would you say that what we teach is clear and easy to understand?
Yeah, like we actually talked before, like 2 days ago, about the program because I told him like, is there anything that you like to say that you would like to improve, to change? And he was like, well, not really, because like every time we had a question, it was right there. And if not, if we, because sometimes the information is there, but you still have like questions like, oh, is this really that simple? So we would ask you and everything was fine. So yeah.
Yeah. What did you think about our step-by-step layout and that you didn't need to go anywhere else for what you needed, that everything was truly in just one place?
Oh, that was amazing. Like having all the information in one program and from like the starting and the beginning, like everything. It was really great because it was so easy to follow like every step. Everything was so organized, like the checklist, having a checklist that was perfect too. So yeah, we're really grateful.
Did you experience any challenges when you were actually putting everything together? Because I remember that time, I remember we were connecting and like everything was getting done, but did you struggle in any way?
Not really. I remember I had questions about like the pictures, like the passport pictures, but it was because it was more like why do they need 8 pictures? Like, why is it really 8 pictures? Like, that was a question mostly. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I don't understand what she's explaining. It was like, does it really make sense? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, just silly requirements is what it is. It truly doesn't make sense, especially when you do go for biometrics and they take your picture and then they use that picture on all the
yeah.
documents anyway. So it's like, what's going on here? Okay, so let's go over your timeline. You enrolled in on May 12th, 2023. Do you remember how long it took you to prepare everything and finalize the application itself? Approximately.
Okay, so I remember when we got to talk to you, you said, guys, if you do it like every day, take some time and organize everything, we can send everything in 2 weeks. It took us a month. It didn't take us a month because it was like slow. No, it took us a month because I'm afraid of needles and I had to get my blood sample, and that was a nightmare. I was like, okay, no, next week, next week, next week. Oh my God. Like, that was the last thing that I did. It was basically it because the doctor, I went there, they had everything like so quick. And then his assistant called me saying, like, okay, everything is done, like you're ready to go. So I only need what's last is the blood samples. And I was like, okay, so I have to do it. Like, if I don't do it this week, I'm gonna have to do it tomorrow. But I think all the paperwork, it was basically done in like 2 weeks, but it took us more because I was like so scared.
Yeah, oh, I remember that. I remember you brought it up. I'm so glad that it's behind you. You don't even need to worry about it. Basically, the medical exam is what delayed you. The
Yeah.
medical exam is what always delays everybody. So, but as soon as that got done, you shipped it off. And that was sometime, I would imagine, in June, right? Like mid-June.
Yes, yes, June 7th.
Ah, she remembers June 7th. Okay, so it took you 3 weeks. That's very
Mhm.
cool. So June 7th of 2023, what happens from there?
And then we sent all the paperwork. We were so excited, so happy. And I think it was like June 9th or something like that, like 2 days later, they received it. So it was really quick. We were expecting more because we live in Hawaii. We were sending something to the mainland. So, but no, it was pretty quick. Like, we were so excited. It was like, okay, it's happening. It's happening. It's no longer okay. We have to collect all the paperwork. No, it's happening now. We just have to wait.
Yeah. What happened from there? Did you hear anything back? Like you obviously had your biometrics, and then did you go to your biometrics sooner or you actually got scheduled?
Okay, hold on, give me a second because I have my timeline here. I had my biometrics. Yes, so we shipped everything on June 7th. They received it June 9th. And then I had my biometric schedules on June 16th. So it was pretty quick.
That was very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fast.
So you went for biometrics.
Mm-hmm.
Then how long did it take for you to get your work permit?
The work permit took like, I want to say 2 weeks right after the biometrics.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I got it in July. So
That
like the
was-
first week of July. So it took, yeah, like 2 weeks.
Wow. Okay. And from there, it was crickets for a long time. I remember that.
Yes, we got that. And then in August, we got our I-130 reviewed. So it says like it's actively reviewed. So that's like, and no. In August, I got my work permit approved.
Okay.
So I got my biometrics June 16th, and then August got approved.
Perfect. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yeah. And then in August 19th, the card was delivered.
Awesome. So that was done. The work permit, you got the social security number, and then it was a while until you heard back from them.
Yes, that's when everything stopped. Card delivered. I got the card in the mail, and then, ooh, Okay,
Yep.
so then another journey. We kept having this like notifications, like it's taking longer than expected, and then it would say 4 weeks, 3 weeks, two, one, and then once it was like 1 week left, it was like, okay, it's taking longer than expected again, and that's when it was very frustrating.
Yeah, tell me about the stress. Tell me about the stress level and like basically the waiting period. I know it was not obviously easy because, there's so many cases that get approved in 30, 60, 90 days, and here you are kind of like, okay, what's going on? Tell me about that period.
So after I got my work permit approved, like we stopped getting notifications, like I mean good news, like approvals. So that's a period that was kind of like frustrated. And then my mom came to visit. So I
Mhm.
kind of forgot about it. I was like, okay, it is what it is. She's here. I'm gonna have fun. And that made us like feel better about it, like okay, we're not in a hurry, like it's okay. But and we even tried to like stop checking like USCIS. Actually, Chris didn't even have access to it. It was only me because he was like, if I have access, like I'm gonna check it like every single day. So we decided, okay, I will let you know if I get anything, a text message, an email or something. So it was very frustrating because, yeah, we could see all these cases approving like, oh, 59 days. I was like, I'm so happy for them. Why? Like, we have been together for so long. And well, we started thinking like maybe it's just like, it's more paperwork and it's taking longer. We didn't know the reason, we still don't know the reason, but yeah. And then I think it was, so last time it was the car delivered in August and until May 1st, 2024, that's when we got my travel permit approved.
So it took a while. You got your work permit, travel permit approved, which was obviously exciting. And then what happened from there?
I was very happy. I was actually, oh, I might going to Chile and visit my family like next month. Like I was so ready. I sent my friends like the good news. Like I was so excited. And it was funny because it took me a few days to tell my friends. And I told them on May 6th in the morning, 3rd, I think it was. Let me check. Yeah. So I told them, yeah, the 6th. I sent him messages like, oh my God, guys, I have like really good news. My travel permit got approved. That was in the morning. That was in the morning. Like 3 hours later, I get a text message from USCIS, and I was like, yes, it's approved. Like this process is over. Like I was so happy. Like really, really happy, excited. Like I click on it, check my account, and I read that we were like scheduled for the interview, and I was like, what? What? Like I freak out. I started like crying. I was like sobbing. Like I was basically crying and sobbing because it was so frustrated. Like that's the feeling that I had in that moment. I was like, it wasn't sadness. It was like why do we have to go through this interview? Like, and it was overwhelming. Even though I was like, I know the relationship is real and everything, and we have been together for so long, but still thinking about the date, the night before, like everything, I was like, no, I don't want to do this. And then I called Chris, and he was like, well, it's okay. Like we're one step closer. I know he was very stressed about it too, but he was like, we're almost there. Like it's the last step. And then like I posted my rant, and you commented the same thing. Like, guys, you guys are almost done. Like you're right there. It's the final part. So like you should relax, and even if the officer is not nice, it's their job. And it's
Exactly.
true.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I would imagine, I just know based on my own experience that that time from the moment you're scheduled for an interview until the interview, it's like the worst time, at least of my life, it was the worst time. I was panicking, I was concerned, I was imagining different scenarios. That's just what we immigrants do.
Yeah.
So, how was your experience pre-interview? What, were you kind of overthinking it?
Before the interview, yeah, like I would wake up in the middle of the night, like my hands, I had like an allergy, like a rash in my wrist, and then like my head, I was constantly like scratching my head, and Chris was like, "Stop, you're doing it again." I was like, "Oh, I think like I'm so stressed," and I
Yes.
would like cry. I went back to yoga because it was like I took a break. So I went back to yoga. I was just like walking like a lot before bedtime, like everything to release this stress. So, and obviously like looking some information, like what type of questions, like, and I was like, we know a lot about each other, like, but sometimes when you're like in a long relationship, sometimes you forget like even like small details, like when he asked me, okay, how many tattoos I have, I was like, I'm not even sure, like, because I see you every day, so now I don't even remember. So yeah, all those details.
Did the portal help you? Because I was actually expecting that we were going to connect on Zoom call and kind of like, discuss it, prep you a little bit, but you never connected. So I was wondering if the materials that you had in the portal were they enough?
Yeah, so I thought about it. I was like, oh, maybe we're gonna have an interview before, but then I read some testimonies like was it Leonora? Leonora was,
Eleonora. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yep.
I read her story, like the other one too. I don't remember what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I read more about it. I was like, okay, so if I have an interview or something, conversation before with Margarita, I think I'm gonna get like even more stressed, like something like more serious. So then I decided just like to try to relax a little bit and say like, okay, it is what it is. We are together, and just like you said, like it's a real relationship, so there's nothing like to actually worry about.
Yeah. Yeah. How was the interview? How easy was it?
Oh, it was really nice. Like even the night before, the day before the interview, like in my imagination, of course, I was like, I'm not going to be able to sleep. Like it was like 9 and I was sleeping already. And I
Wow.
had like a really good night. It was probably like due to all the yoga and walking that I was doing.
Yes.
So it was really relaxing. I woke up and I got kind of like anxious when I was waiting because we had it at 1. And I was like, it shouldn't be like early in the morning just to wake up and go. But we were like, okay. So we were like kind of like waiting on the couch, talking, and like, what do we do? Like,
Yeah.
and once we got there, like they were so nice, so kind, like the people like from security, they were like, oh, my wife went through that, like it's pretty easy. Like actually they thought I was doing my naturalization because they were like, oh, the questions are not hard, like don't get stressed about it. And they were like, yeah, and it's pretty quick. And then the lady in the front desk, she was like, oh, just relax because like they asked for not his appointment. And Chris was kind of like shaking and looking through all the like the paperwork. And they were like, oh, calm down, take your time. There's some water if you want to drink some water. You can just wait there. And and we saw a lady that called a couple, but she was like, no, the wife first. So we were like, okay, this is the way it's gonna be. We're not doing it together. And then when they heard my name, and this guy, like really nice guy, opens the door, and he was like really like kind. He was like, oh, come on, guys. It's more like talking, like not like it's an interview, but it's still talking. I'm gonna ask some questions. explained the format of the interview, like step by step. So he was pretty clear and really, really nice.
How long did the interview last?
I don't even remember. I don't know, but I want to say like maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because once we left, there was a lady outside and she was like, "Oh my God, that was so quick." And I was like, "You didn't feel like it." And Chris was like, "Yeah, it was short because we basically told him about our timeline." That's what he asked us, like the timeline when we got engaged. And when we were telling the story, we kind of like overshared a lot of information that he didn't ask. And we were like, okay, she said, answer only what you get asked. But we share a lot of information. And that's why he didn't ask much because we told him about like when we met, how we met, and then when I flew to Hawaii, and then that I was like back and forth for a couple of years. Then we got engaged. We told him about the fiance visa too, and then when we decided to get married and everything. So yeah, it was pretty simple. Then he read some questions from form I-485 and like the have you ever or
Yeah.
these hard like yeah. So he read like six questions and that was it. And then we checked Chris' form, I-130, and he asked him about his previous marriages and like kind of like wanted to know about like a timeline, same thing. And he was like, okay, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it was that easy. Okay, on a scale from 1 to 10, how happy are you to finally be done?
Oh, 10, of course. Yeah.
Oh, the chart.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're
I'm
really
so
happy.
happy too for you. And would you say that navigating this journey together, like with Chris, strengthened your relationship since he fully supported you, it sounds like, and obviously observed like your entire immigration journey?
Yeah, there were moments that because like I said, like I'm very organized and he's opposite. I mean, he says that he's organized, but it's his own type of organization. He understands his organized part, but I'm very organized. So I was always like, okay, we need the pictures, we need this, and I think the nice part that we thought it would be like, oh my God, so annoying. It was the evidence because we were like, oh, look at the pictures. Oh, so cute. Oh, I forgot we went to this place or we went to that concert. So it was like really, really nice.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Such a beautiful experience. Give me a few comments on the community. Did you find the community to be a helpful aspect of this program?
Oh yeah, yeah. I felt like really, I felt great when I found out that there were more people going through the same process, even though I know they're like thousand millions going through that. But it was really nice to get to talk like, oh, when do you send your case? Okay, or how long did it take? And people like just saying like, okay, you will be fine and it's gonna be okay, like knowing that they went through the same process and it was nice to have that type of support.
Yeah.
So yeah, like yeah, the program like I would totally recommend it because it was like really easy to use. Um, Chris and I have like different personalities, so and it worked for both of us. Like he has ADHD, so it's kind of hard for him like to kind of like be in one thing at a time. And he made it because it was everything so simple, so organized. The same about me. Like we were just like reading the forms, following your program and everything. So yeah, it was pretty easy and
That's
simple.
amazing.
So yeah, people
Wow.
should do it.
Wow. And then what about Zoom calls? Did you find those to be like support calls to basically be a helpful part of this journey as well?
Oh yeah, that's also something that we're like the phone calls, the Zoom meetings, because like every time we had questions, like I would just like log in every Wednesday and it was pretty easy, like pretty clear. And even having more people to talk about it, you could like clarify your own questions, and also having someone like that you can look at and talk, not only like an email or a phone call. Like we felt very supported through the whole process.
How do you feel about the fact that you did this alone without hiring a lawyer? You handled your own case, you got your own green card.
Yeah, we're so proud. We
Yeah.
made it.
Yeah, it's very empowering. You see, you didn't need anybody to do it for you. It's just about knowing which steps to take, and you took them. And look where here you are, like a year later, sure, but ultimately you got the exact result that you were looking for, and I'm so, so happy. Any last comments? Like, what would you say to someone who is trying to decide between hiring a lawyer, maybe doing it entirely by themselves, or actually going through our program?
I think it's easy to just do it by yourself, having guidance. I know there are like books or stuff that they sell out there, because a friend of mine did it that way. So she I think she bought like a PDF or something like that, and she followed the instructions, but it was only her. Like her partner didn't do anything. He was like, I have no idea what you're doing. I can pay the fees. Tell me what you need and just do it. But for me, I was like, no, when she told me about this PDF program, I was like, no, that's not gonna work for us, because I'm gonna have a lot of questions. Like I always have questions about everything. Like I kind of like overthink, is this, is that, especially for something so important that a big mistake or small mistake can change everything in the process. So for me, it was very easy. I would totally recommend doing it with you, not hiring a lawyer, because it's gonna take more time if you hire a lawyer. This one, you can just organize your time. It's not like you have that pressure too. I mean, it's your own timing. So yeah, I really like the program. I love it.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm so, so happy. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me, and I'll see you inside the community.
Okay, thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. Wow, what an inspiring story. And for anyone who hasn't heard about the Marriage Immigration Method yet, it is a step-by-step coaching program designed for ambitious couples on how to go from lost and unable to find the right solution to getting through their entire marriage immigration process on the first try without making any time delaying mistakes. If this interview resonated with you and you want this transformation for yourself, you can apply to our program by following the links below. We've also included a few free helpful resources in case you are in the very beginning of your journey. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.